VAS, A200, IOZ. What's actually the difference? This is one of the most common questions I see Aussie investors ask, and almost everywhere you look, the answer is this. They're basically the same, just pick one. And to be fair, that's partly true. All three are low-cost ETFs that give you diversified exposure to the Australian share market. But are they really the same? Because I just crunched the numbers, and while the differences are small, these compound over time and could add up to thousands of dollars in your portfolio over the longer term. So in this video, I'm going to break down everything. Fees, performance, holdings, distributions, liquidity, whether you should sell one you already own, and which ETF makes the most sense for your situation. Part 1, the snapshot. Before we get into the details, let me give you a quick overview of what we're actually comparing here. VAS is the Vanguard Australian Shares Index ETF. It's run by Vanguard and it tracks the S&P ASX 300. It holds around 300 stocks. It's also Australia's largest ETF with almost $24.2 billion under management. A200 is the BetaShares Australia 200 ETF. It tracks the sole active Australia 200 index and holds around 200 stocks. IOZ is the iShares core S&P ASX 200 ETF run by BlackRock. It also tracks 200 stocks and follows the S&P ASX 200 index. And then there's STW, the Spider S&P ASX 200 ETF run by State Street. It's been around since 2001, making it the oldest ETF listed on the ASX. It tracks the S&P ASX 200 index as well. It's not as popular as the other three, but I've included it here for completeness. Combined, these four funds hold over $49 billion of Australian investor money, so a lot of people have skin in this game. Now, on the surface, all four of these funds do the exact same job. They give exposure to Australia's biggest companies in a single trade, but they're not identical, and those small differences can matter. So let's break them down. Part 2, the comparison. Before we get into what really matters, fees and performance, let's line up these four ETFs side by side. The first real difference is the index each one tracks. VAS tracks the S&P ASX 300, so it holds around 300 companies. That gives you slightly broader exposure to the Australian share market. A200 tracks the sole active Australia 200, while IOZ and STW both track the S&P ASX 200. So those three are more concentrated in the largest 200 companies on the market. In other words, VAS is a little more diversified, while A200, IOZ, and STW are slightly more large cap focused. Next is fees, and this is where the gap starts to open up. A200 is the cheapest at 0.04% per year. So they're all cheap, but A200 has a small edge on cost. Then there's fund size. VAS is by far the biggest with $24.2 billion under management. After that comes A200, followed by IOZ, then STW. Bigger funds often have stronger liquidity and tighter trading, which can make them easier to buy and sell more efficiently. And in this group, VAS is clearly the dominant core Australian shares ETF. Looking at listing dates, STW has been around the longest, while the others came later. In terms of distributions, all four are the same. They pay quarterly. And when it comes to income, the yields are also pretty similar. VAS, IOS, and STW are all around 3.5%. A200 is slightly lower at around 3%, or about 3.9% if you include franking credits on a gross basis. So from an income perspective, they're all in the same ballpark. Next is unit price. This varies a lot between the four, but it doesn't tell you which ETF is better, and it doesn't affect your return. It's simply the price of one unit. The main thing it can affect is dollar cost averaging. A lower unit price can make it a bit easier to invest fixed amounts regularly because you're less likely to have leftover cash sitting uninvested after each purchase. And finally, trading costs. The spreads are very tight across all four, 0.04 to 0.05%. So from a trading standpoint, all four are very efficient. So if you zoom out, the biggest differences are these. VAS gives you slightly broader exposure with 300 holdings and the largest fund size. A200 is the cheapest option, while IOZ and STW sit in the middle, tracking the same index with similar costs and structure. Now let's go deep into the most important part of this comparison. Part 3, performance. So if you had invested $10,000 5 years ago across all four funds, here's where you would be today. A200 comes out slightly ahead, and that's not surprising because it has the lowest fee. Lower fees mean more of return stays in your pocket. But the dollar difference over 5 years is just $261 on a $10,000 investment. That is the full gap between the best and worst performer across all four funds, which really isn't much. Now let's stretch that out over a much longer time period with a larger portfolio. Now the fee difference is tiny. A200 charges 0.04%, IOZ 0.05%, and VAS 0.07%. But over 30 years, on a $100,000 investment, the gap grows to around $14,000, which is meaningful but not life-changing. So you might be asking, should I sell VAS or IOZ and switch into A200? Usually no. If you already hold VAS or IOZ, selling can trigger capital gains tax, and that tax bill will often outweigh the small savings from A200's lower fee. So before you change funds, make sure you're looking at the after-tax outcome, not just the management fee. And honestly, a much bigger mistake I see is people focusing on small differences between Australian ETFs, keeping most of their portfolio concentrated in Australia and ignoring international markets and themes, many of which have returned much higher returns than Australia in recent times. That is one of the big things I cover in my newsletter. Click the link below and take advantage of a 4-week free trial. Now let's look at the biggest differences between these funds. Part 4, holdings. So VAS tracks 300 stocks, whereas A200, IOZ, and STW all track 200. That means VAS holds an extra 100 or so small to mid-cap companies that don't make the ASX 200 cut. Companies that are a bit smaller, a bit less established, but still listed on the ASX. Those extra 100 stocks represent less than 5% of VAS's total portfolio weight. The top 200 companies dominate VAS just as much as they dominate the other 3. But in years where small caps rally hard, VAS can edge ahead. And in years where small caps drag, VAS can slightly underperform. It's a very small difference, but it's a real one. And when you actually look under the hood, all 4 funds are dominated by the same big names. CBA and BHP alone make up roughly 20% of each fund. The top 10 holdings account for between 47 to 50% of each portfolio. And when you look at these top 10 holdings side by side, the overlap is almost total. The same names, just with slightly different weightings. The one genuine difference is A200's index provider. VAS, IOZ, and STW use S&P, Dow Jones indices, while A200 tracks a sole active index instead. That helps BetaShares keep its fee lower because sole active index licensing tends to be cheaper. But from an investor's point of view, they are still extremely similar. The methodology is very close, the holdings are very close, and the performance ends up being very close as well. Part 5, which one is best for you? So while these 4 ETFs are very similar, there are a few small differences that can matter over time. Choose A200 if you want the lowest fee at 0.04%, or you're starting a new position, or you're using BetaShares Direct with 0 brokerage. Over time, that fee edge has helped A200 deliver slightly stronger 5-year returns. Choose IOZ if you prefer iShares by BlackRock, want a lower unit price at $37 versus $154 for A200 to make dollar cost averaging easier, or specifically want S&P ASX 200 exposure. It also saw the strongest inflows in February 2026, so it's becoming a more popular fund. Choose VAS if you want broader exposure, 300 versus 200 stocks, or you want the most liquid and widely traded ETF in Australia. And what about STW? It doesn't really have a standout advantage over the others today, but if you already own it, that does not mean you should rush to sell it. Because the bigger point is, do not switch just because of a tiny fee difference. The fee gap between 0.04% and 0.07% is only about $30 per $100,000. A capital gains tax event will likely cost far more than a year's worth of fee savings. The honest answer is you can't go wrong with any of them. What matters far more is how you build your portfolio, especially split between Australian and international shares, not which of these ETFs you pick. And that's exactly what we cover in Australia's only dedicated ETF research newsletter. Every week we dive deep into which international ETF themes are moving from base to trend and what to buy and when to buy it. So click the link below. There's also 20% off yearly subscriptions right now, so you can take advantage of that today. Thanks for watching, and remember, always follow the trend.